It's been a while since the last Reddit video, so thanks for coming back to the channel. I've got a bunch of stories to read today. And while I do that, I'm going to be building a super smelter. Well, maybe not so super, but I just desperately need something to smelt all of the raw iron and gold that I've mined over the span of this world. I don't even know why I collect all these amethyst crystals. I never end up using them for anything. Anyways, let's read some stories and judge some people. Am I wrong for asking my daughter to uphold her end of the deal? This poster writes, honestly, I don't even feel that this situation needs to be on Reddit, but my daughter, husband, and many of my family members are calling me an asshole, and I'm really not sure anymore. For context, 4 years ago, when my daughter was 12, she desperately wanted a pool. She said that all of her friends had pools, and she was the only one who didn't have one. Plus, she loved swimming. She insisted that she would use it daily in the summer. My husband and I could afford one, but as I'm sure some of you know, pools are very expensive, and neither of us really like swimming, so we wanted my daughter to understand the cost she was asking for. We made an agreement that we would install a pool, but that once she was old enough to start working, she would pay us back for half of it. She quickly agreed. This story. Pools are so expensive. Well, flash forward to now. She's 16 and just got her first job, and now she wants to save up for a prom dress she really likes. I reminded her of our agreement about the pool, and she no longer wants to uphold her end of the agreement. I insisted, threatening to take away her phone and car privileges if she doesn't pay her father and I back. Now she won't speak to me. My husband is agreeing with her, saying that we can't have honestly expected a 12-year-old to keep her end of the agreement. For me, this isn't about the money. It's about teaching my young daughter the right morals to live with. I don't want her to think she can just go around making deals for her benefit and then just not upholding them. Am I the asshole? Yes, you are absolutely the asshole. This story is cracking me up. I completely understand it's important to teach your kids the value of keeping your word and the value of money, but this is just way too much. You don't, like a 12-year-old is not going to understand entering into a long-term agreement for thousands of dollars. Like, it's just not going to have a concept of the kind of deal that she's entering into. It's like somehow incredibly predatory on the mom's part. I'm glad that at least the husband has some sense and is like, yeah, no, it's no problem. Like, of course, our 12-year-old daughter wasn't going to know the meaning of what buying a pool looks like and like how much of a financial impact that would be. Like having the daughter to agree to pay for half of the pool? How much do pools cost? I don't know how much pools cost. I just assume they cost a lot of money. $35,000? What the fuck? That's just like the low end of the average cost of a pool in the US. That's crazy. You're gonna make your daughter pay half of that? I don't know. Don't like quote me on that cost. I just Googled it and that's the AI response. Who knows what the actual like average cost is, but that's what Google AI says. Yeah, if you want to teach your daughter good morals, teach her by admitting that you're able to make a mistake and dissolve her debt. Don't like go after your daughter's credit score before she has one. I can't believe there's parents like that out there. This story was infuriating. Let's read another one here. By the way, I'm for sure not building this on my own. I am definitely following a tutorial. It's from a channel called Mysticat. They only have 1 million subscribers, so I figured I'd give little bro a shout out. No, but it's a good video. Check it out. Okay, the next story is an Am I Overreacting? This poster writes, girlfriend threw away the dinner I cooked because she wanted pizza instead. My girlfriend texted me earlier. I'm too tired and frustrated to even respond. I was trying to do something nice for her and surprise her with something that she really likes, but apparently she wasn't in the mood for it. I feel pretty much tired of trying in general. I guess I didn't really ask her what she wanted tonight for dinner, but I still feel pretty angry. And it's my favorite thing. We have receipts to read. Let me go ahead and read some of these text messages. I'll put them on the screen right now. The girlfriend writes, hey, when's your break? Can you pick up a pizza so I have something to eat tonight? The poster writes back, no, babe, I made the wine-braised short ribs you said last night were your favorite, so I got up early to cook them. You just have to pull them from the pot. There's that and small s'mores cakes I made for Wednesday, since there's extra and I figured you'd want some. I don't really want that, though. Can you just grab a pizza on your break? We can eat that stuff later. No, I'm locked in for the night. What's wrong with the short ribs? You literally just told me that it was your favorite thing, so I made it special for you. Kinda sucks. Well, I tried it, and it came out kinda gross anyway, so I'm tossing it. Can you ask to leave for a bit and stop by Papa John's or something? I just want stuffed crust. What do you mean, gross? You tossed it? As in, like, threw it away? It just tasted bad, and I don't know what to tell you. It wasn't edible. It's not a big deal. I just need to eat something tonight for dinner, though. Did you ask? Dude, what the fuck? That was expensive meat. Why did you throw it away? I already told you I'm not leaving work. Well, I don't know what you expect me to do. It's simple as fuck. Just order the pizza then if you're busy. Like I have something to eat. Hello? Places are closing soon. I'm busy at work. I don't want to talk about it right now. Please figure it out. We'll talk later. Seriously, you're going to be this much of an asshole over this? I didn't ask you to cook anything. If you can't deal with the basics of being a supportive partner, then it should be something I consider and find someone who will support me. Oh my God. What the hell? That's insane. It's reading stories like this on Reddit that make you very glad that you have a normal partner that doesn't completely disrespect you. I think if I was this guy, I'd be pretty pissed too. I think I would be offended that she didn't want to eat the food that I made, but I don't necessarily think that's like the worst part. Like, I think it's okay that his girlfriend does not like the food or want to eat it. That's fine. If she doesn't want to eat it tonight, that's okay. But it's this insistence on like he needs to leave work and go get a pizza for her. Like, if you're not going to eat the food that he's already made for you, maybe go get yourself some food. You can take care of it on your own. This guy is absolutely not overreacting though. He has every right to be disappointed in the way that his girlfriend is speaking to him. Those last couple texts are incredibly disrespectful. She's not like entitled to him going out and buying a pizza for her. That would be a nice thing for him to do, but to threaten like that she's going to go find a guy that will go take care of her and get her a pizza, like, I don't know, that's just that's too much. Anybody who's threatening to break up with you over little things like this is a red flag, in my opinion. Although I don't think that's that controversial. This is making my blood boil, though. This guy's not overreacting. Let's read another story. Okay, this is a really quick one, but I thought it was kind of funny because it's almost like the other... it's almost like the other side of that last story. We'll just read it really quick here. Am I overreacting? Boyfriend said I overreacted when I refused to eat this fully cooked chicken. He said that since it was in the grill, it's 100% cooked, and that I'm overreacting for refusing to eat it. He also said it tastes fine and that the texture was a bit weird, but the taste is fine. Oh, and that I'm picky because I won't eat it anymore? Okay, so this is the most absurd picture of chicken I've ever seen. I'm going to put it on the screen. I'm warning you right now. This picture is nasty. If you're grossed out by gross looking food, you've been warned. I'm going to put it on the screen in 3, 2, 1. Okay, and it's gone. I mean, that picture, that chicken is absolutely disgusting looking. I would not eat that. You're literally putting yourself in danger if you eat that. So no, this person is not overreacting. That is not a fully cooked piece of chicken. That is for sure raw. Don't touch it.
It's not even pink, it's raw!
And Coop has delivered undercooked salmon.
Am I the asshole for choosing my best friend as my best man instead of my stepbrother? I'm a 24-year-old male, getting married to my fiance, 28, female, in 2 weeks. My stepbrother Pete is a 25-year-old male. He's mad at me because I chose my best friend Charles as my best man. Honestly, choosing Charles was a no-brainer because Pete and I aren't close. Yeah, we're stepbrothers, but we never lived together. I used to live with my mom, and he lives with my dad and my stepmom. We didn't go to school together. We only hung out when I visited my dad. And even then, the times when he came out of his room when I was over were few and far between. Even in the last 6 months, I can count on one hand the number of times I've talked to Pete. Whereas I've talked to Charles pretty much every day in the last 6 months. I used to invite Pete to do things with me and call to chat so we could have like a brotherly relationship, but he never accepted any of my invitations or answered any of my calls, so I gave up trying. He's made it clear to me that he doesn't want much to do with me. On the other hand, Charles and I are really close. Charles and I have known each other for 11 years, and we used to hang out pretty much every day. He chose me as his best man for his wedding. He's like an older brother to me. I've gone to him for advice, and I've been there for him when he needs me. If I'm being completely honest, I see Charles as the older brother, while I don't see Pete as a brother at all, or even a stepbrother, just the son of a woman my dad married. Nothing against Pete. He seems like a decent guy, and was, and still is, invited to the wedding. He just isn't in the wedding party because he's basically a stranger. Anyway, the whole reason I made this post is because I got a text from Pete earlier today. He found out I chose Charles as my best man, and he was hurt that I didn't choose him. And then he demanded that I make him best man. I apologized and said I was sticking with Charles, and he messaged back saying he wasn't coming if he wasn't... and he messaged back saying he wasn't coming if he wasn't my best man. I apologized and said I was sticking with Charles. Around half an hour after that, I got a call from my stepmom. She went off on me for not choosing Pete as my best man. She said I should have chosen him because we're brothers. She ended her rant by saying she wasn't coming if Pete wasn't going to be my best man, then hung up. Shortly after that, I got a text from my dad saying I should just make Pete my best man to keep the peace. Now there's this little voice in the back of my head that's wondering if I should just make Pete my best man. Am I the asshole for choosing my best friend instead of my stepbrother? This is just so dumb to me. Like, obviously, this poster should just pick his best friend as best man. He already picked him. He already picked his best friend as his best man. Just keep it that way. Like, kind of, who cares if your stepbrother doesn't come? If he's gonna whine and complain that much. It's so important that your best man or bridesmaid is someone who cares about you deeply and that you care about deeply. It's an important role in the wedding. The best man is making sure things go right, organizing a lot of stuff, to make sure that the day goes smoothly, to keep a lot of stress off of you. And if you have somebody that doesn't really give a shit about you in that position, like, I don't know, you just can't trust them. It is crazy how the clout chasers come out of the woodwork once best man starts getting thrown around. Like, this poster's stepbrother is just in it for the title of best man. He just wants the clout. And so no, this guy should just hold his ground. If his stepbrother and stepmom don't come to his wedding because he didn't pick his stepbrother as his best man, they weren't meant to be at that wedding in the first place. This story makes my blood boil. Let's go ahead and move to another story. I hope this guy just takes his best friend as his best man. All right, nice. The iron's going into the hopper. That's a good sign. Let's make sure we have fuel. All right, the moment of truth. Let's see if this works. Yes, we have an automatic smelter. It's actually so satisfying when you get a machine working. I could just sit here and watch this all day. And now we're going to attempt to make it look pretty. I don't have any ideas for this, so it's going to be a lot of trial and error, but I'm going to try and use this color palette. Let's get back to reading here. All right, here's the next story. Told my wife that she couldn't do it without me. Turns out she can. The guy who's posting this is a 34-year-old male, and his wife that he's referencing is a 35-year-old female. My wife and I don't fight much, and when we do fight, we usually communicate well afterwards, and things go back to normal. I brag to my friends about how reasonable my wife is, and her ability to communicate and empathize is something I deeply admire. She doesn't hold grudges. She talks me through my rough times, until now. Due to a fire, my wife is out of work, but still earning her salary. We decided she would stay home with our young son while out of work. She doesn't love child rearing, which is something we knew going into having kids. Honestly, it's hard to tell. She's a great mom. Present and loving, even when she's struggling inside. I give my wife a lot of breaks. We co-parent, split bedtime routines with our 2 kids. We both pull our weight. Yesterday was a snow day. My daughter was home with my wife and son. I was working from home downstairs all day. I helped my daughter with cyber school until noon, and my wife was with my son out in the snow all morning, plowing the drive and sidewalks, etc., maintaining the house. My daughter joined them, and from the sound of things and some videos, she brought her friends over for playing and some hot chocolate. I worked until around 5 o'clock, and when I went upstairs, it was chaos. My wife was doing laundry and helping my daughter, who fell and hurt herself, on the ice. She sent home the friends and we had dinner. I did the cleanup, and right after finishing, keep in mind I've been downstairs working all day, not even a bathroom break or anything. I go into the playroom and my wife approaches me. It goes like this. She says, "Hey, can I go lay down for a bit?" I say, "I haven't gone to the bathroom all day, and I put cookies in the oven." I'll admit, I made a face when I said that. And I could tell that I messed up just by the face that she gave me. She said, "Fine, never mind, forget I asked. Heaven forbid." Now I'm sensing some attitude and I know I've misstepped here, so I say, "No, it's fine, I'll take care of it all. Go take a break." To my complete shock, in front of our kids, who I admit aren't paying us much attention, but are still close, my wife says, "I said never fucking mind. I've been running around on my feet all day, watching our kids and other people's kids, and heaven fucking forbid I ask for 20 minutes to myself." I again say, "Go take a break, I told you it was fine." But she's clearly lost her marbles and is seeing red. She starts cleaning up and helping with the kids, and I do too. I tried to overcompensate, but she took over caring for them. In the hall I said, "I think you forget I work all day," and she viciously says, "Thanks for reminding me, I almost forgot." I feel like an ass. I get that she works hard caring for the kids, but I work hard too. I think not having her job and escape is making her reaction to this fight worse. She texted me the next day with her usual communication. She expressed how upset that she was with my behavior and the way that I acted towards her. She said she was feeding and taking care of 6 kids all day in the snow alone and still cleaned the entire house and deep cleaned our craft room. I explained that I'm stressed out from work and that I didn't know why she was upset, since I offered her a break. But she said, "I don't want your pity breaks." She ended it with, "Thanks for the apology, by the way." Which, yeah, I didn't exactly apologize, but for what? And then she asked me for the number of my daughter's piano teacher. The piano teacher is the only activity that I manage for the kids. I found out later that my wife texted the piano teacher telling the piano teacher that now any communication should go through her instead of me. Normally, my wife would text me asking if I can get my daughter from dance on my way home yesterday. I do this every week. I didn't hear anything when I got home. I found out my wife had dropped off and picked her up. I confronted my wife with, "I am very present with the children. Do not make me out to be an absent father." My wife responded with, "If I didn't manage and ask you for help, you'd see them a quarter of the time that you do now. And I'm done managing you." I get it. I should have just smiled and agreed when she asked me for help, but this is extreme. She's having a fit and trying to ice me out of the relationship with my kids. It's so petty. It's like I don't even know this woman. Gone is the reasonable, level-headed communicator. So if you've made it this far, thank you, and please tell me if I'm wrong here. There are a lot of comments on this post tearing this guy to shreds. and there's some subsequent updates that I'm going to read, but I'll just jump in really quick to say here that I think communication in a relationship is really tough, and both of these parents are clearly working really hard. The guy's working hard at his job. The mom is really stressed out. She's lost her job, and now she's, kind of solo raising these kids. Both parents have the right to be stressed out, but I think it's better in a relationship that when one person is asking for help, to just give them the help. Don't complain about how tired you are. Just help your partner. You're both raising these kids together. You're trying to have this family function. Just help each other where you can. This poster's wife is clearly making a lot of concessions to help him out, and I think he needs to do a better job of realizing that, which you can tell in his tone in this post that he knows that he's done something wrong, and he sort of just needs to come around and see that. But let's read these updates here and see how this ends. The poster added a couple comments that were saying that they were talking about this whole fight and they were going to therapy, him and his wife. And it sounded like he was really working to be a better husband and father. So then he came back with this update that I'll read right now. "I've taken a lot of time to really look at the man I've become. My wife and I are 100% back to being a team. But I've realized that I wasn't stepping up in the way that I always wanted to. I promised my wife a partnership, and even though it's been a month or so since the fight, and my wife keeps asking me to forget it happened, I can't. My therapist is helping me sort through my overthinking. My wife started therapy because of the stress of losing her work and staying home has caused. Her issues appear to stem from feeling useless without bringing in a paycheck, and was taking on too many tasks at home to overcompensate. She doesn't feel like she deserves breaks, and when she takes them, she feels awful about herself, like she's being lazy. Coming from the least lazy person I know, I can tell she's struggling, and I've been supporting her as best I can. I often make sure she knows I think she deserves breaks. So when I see her hyper-fixating on cleaning the floorboards, I intervene gently by reminding her that this doesn't need doing right now, but that I will finish it for her while she does me a favor and takes a little break. Sometimes it works, and other times she tells me to stop fussing and let her do her work. And I do. It's been working well, and I don't mind the extra work for the peace of mind it offers me. My wife is my everything, and her happiness is paramount. My kids are mostly clueless to all this. We don't involve them. And I must say, I made a throwaway comment about my wife not loving child rearing, and received a lot of nasty comments about not having kids we don't want. I'm weary to dignify this with a response, but I will say that what I meant was that we agreed before having children that my wife would not be the sole support system for them, and that she would never feel obligated to quit working. My wife is fiercely independent due to her past, and a big part of the comfort in our relationship comes from her ability to leave it safely if she ever needed to. That trauma is hers, and I won't touch more on it. She should be an independent person. I'd want the same for my kids. So that's basically it. I've been taking on the role as primary parent. I get my kids to daycare, school, and home, and my wife helps half the time. It's now my responsibility to see who is doing what and coordinate things. I can't do it all in my head like her, but I have a chart that's been helping. She rebelled at first, but gave up the reins surprisingly easily. Thanks, guys, and I'm sorry it's not more dramatic. I really like this story because it's not sensational or anything. It's just two people that were having some communication issues in their relationship, and it's just them sorting it out in a mature way. It's hard to find stories on the internet here that aren't just people blowing things way out of proportion. Also, the poster, who everybody was just like, yeah, you're the asshole, man. he ended up working really hard to become a better father and husband, and that's great. Great moral to the story. I don't know, this one is just two people that are trying to be better humans for each other, and I find it weirdly refreshing. Let's go ahead and read another story. Am I the asshole for banning my wife's Disney divorce friends' plugins from our house? That's a bit of a mouthful. This poster writes, my wife's friend Melissa, 49, female, is staying with us for a few weeks while she sorts her life out. We have a large home and are very happy to have house guests. She's leaving her husband after 25 years of marriage because she wants to move to LA and work at Disneyland. This sounds like the plot of a bad sitcom, but I'm afraid it's real. Both she and her husband are equally culpable for the failure of their marriage, and really bring out the worst in one another. Their relationship has been in a state for as long as I've known them. The problem is that Melissa showed up with an arsenal of room scents and sprays and plugins. The smell of her scents have completely taken over the hallway, the family bathroom, my office, and even down 2 flights of stairs into the living room. It's strong, it's nasty, and it's made and smells like all of the chemicals that we avoid. Melissa is genuinely lovely and in a vulnerable spot, and I don't want to make her feel unwelcome, but it's our house, and this is something that we've been intentional about. However, outside of our own personal feelings about plugins, it feels really strange to stay in someone else's home and decide to bring your own plugins and scents to totally change the smell of the house. I mentioned how strong the smell was, assuming it was room spray, and how it was overtaking every room, and she said, yeah, the plugins are pretty strong. I was so shocked that I asked her to remove them. I opened up with a sensitive ask. Hey, those room sprays are pretty strong. Would you mind keeping the door closed if you're using them? And then spiraled a bit when I heard her say that they're plugins, plural. My wife told me I was being an asshole for making Melissa feel uncomfortable when she's been going through a lot, and that if I didn't like it, I should have just spoken to my wife about it first. I was incredulous that she thought it was okay for her to change the scent of our house. Am I the asshole like my wife says? I feel pretty justified in my complaint. This guy adds a couple edits for context, so I'm just going to go ahead and read those really quick here. To address some frequently asked questions. The plugins are already gone. The conversation pivoted from, could you please keep the door closed when you spray the room, to, can you please remove the plugins? Melissa apologized and removed them immediately. I also spotted, after writing this post, that the intake vent for the central air was about 12 feet from where one of the plugins was. This explains how the whole house got gunked up so quickly. The smell still hasn't gone away after 24 hours. In the part of the conversation where the plugins were revealed, my wife informs me that my facial expressions were all over the place, a mix of shock and disgust. I maintained a friendly but firm tone when I asked her to remove them, and explained my reasoning clearly. I capped the conversation by saying I hated the smell of them, which was unkind and deeply unhelpful. In my defense, I do hate the smell, and I was so thoroughly flabbergasted that an adult would think this was okay to do that I made an unguarded comment. This poster wrote Disney divorce in the title of their post like it's a term that I should know, like it's a thing. Are Disney divorces a thing? Are people really breaking up their marriage of 25 years to go move across the country and work in Disneyland? Is that a thing? Glossing over that, people can like what they like. I don't think this guy is the asshole. Like, I think that this person, Melissa, should have asked if she could plug in her scents, sprays, whatever. Like, I think it's a little bit rude to assume that you can just plug in whatever smells you want when you're staying in somebody else's house. It does sound like this guy was like maybe a little bit harsh when he was talking to her about it. Like, ending the conversation with, you hate the smell of her scents. He's right. It is unhelpful, and he realizes that. So I don't think this guy is like actually an asshole. I think maybe he just came off like one. I think it might be good for this guy to just go to Melissa and say, hey, thanks for removing the scents. I apologize for being such a dick about it. That might be a good way to smooth this over. No, of course not. Why would I think observers were going to work here? Okay, thank God it works. I will never tell you how much time I just spent figuring out this lighting system. I am just going to cut all of the trial and error, and you'll never know. I'm going to the grave with it. Let's just read something and forget that this happened. Am I overreacting for being mad my friend charged me for dinner at her place? I was in the area the other night and decided to drop by my friend's place unannounced, just to say hi. We've been close friends for a long time, so I didn't feel like it was a big deal. She had just finished making dinner, and the whole place smelled amazing, so naturally I said, that smells good. She offered me a plate, and I figured why not. I wasn't planning on eating there, but since she offered, I said yes. Honestly, if she hadn't, I would have been totally fine just hanging out while she ate. We sat down, had dinner, and the night felt super normal. We talked, caught up, nothing felt out of the ordinary. Then the next day, I got a Venmo request from her for $12. At first I laughed because I thought it was a joke, but it turns out she was dead serious. She told me groceries are expensive now, which I get, but it still felt really weird to basically get billed for a casual dinner at a friend's house. It caught me totally off guard, and now I'm wondering if I'm making a big deal out of nothing, or if it really is out of line to charge a friend like that. I'm honestly a bit torn on this one. I'm not quite sure whose side to be on. On the one hand, I completely agree that it is weird to charge your friend for a dinner that you have made for them. If a friend invites me over for dinner, I'm not expecting to have to pay for that food. I'd be happy to chip in, but if it's not said beforehand, I guess I'm not really expecting it. But this poster was not invited over. They said that they just dropped in unannounced, which I hate. You got to tell me if you're coming over. I think it's really rude to just drop by. Maybe you feel differently, but I'm uncomfortable with that. I love my friends and I'm always happy to see them, but if one came over right now, while I'm recording this video, I'd be upset. I'm trying to be productive and do my own thing here. So I think this poster's friend maybe is just upset with the poster because she had to split a dinner with someone who she intended not to share with. And I think that's not unreasonable. I think if I were the friend in this situation, I probably would not have charged for the meal that I shared. It's fine, whatever. My friend dropped in and I fed them. That's great. We caught up. We had a good time. I'm not going to charge for the meal. I think it's still a little weird, but it's fine. It's nice that this poster loves their friendship so much that they feel they can just drop in unannounced. That's great and that's a nice thought, but it's so easy to just text and be like, "Hey, I'm in town. I'm nearby. Can I come over and hang out for a bit?" It's so easy to just let them know. But also saying out loud, "That smells good," it's kind of implying that you want to eat or that you want some of the food. So maybe the friend felt obligated to feed the poster when they said that. I don't know. This post is bending my mind into a pretzel. I don't know who to agree with. I don't know. I think they're both wrong, but maybe the friend is less wrong. I don't know. I guess I'm probably wrong. Tell me what you think about this one. Let's read another story that isn't so confusing to me. All right, I think we can call this done for now. I know it looks out of place, but I think as the cave comes together, we'll be able to fit it in a bit more. But I'm very happy that we got this at least sort of done. And now I want to do some scavenging in the end for more elytra and loot and stuff. So we're going to do that for the rest of the video. Prepare yourself for some incredibly mediocre gameplay. I really hope that you don't come to this channel for the Minecraft combat skills. All right, we have another one here. This one's an Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for making my girlfriend stop coming over in the mornings after my mom's friend complained about her showering? My girlfriend works 12-hour overnight shifts, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. After work, she sometimes comes over to my place to shower and sleep. She usually arrives around 8:15 a.m., takes a quick shower by 8:30, and then crashes for the day. Here's where the issue comes in. My mom's long-term friend, who rents the basement, complained that the sound of the shower at 8:30 a.m. woke him up. My mom passed that complaint along to me and asked if my girlfriend could avoid showering until everyone is awake. I told my girlfriend, and she felt uncomfortable continuing to come over, understandably in my opinion. After working all night, the last thing she wants to do is feel like she's disturbing people just by taking a basic shower before bed. So she decided to not come over in the mornings anymore. She didn't cause drama or make a scene, just quietly adjusted. I later told my mom what my girlfriend decided, and she got upset, not because of the shower, but because my girlfriend chose to stop coming over in the mornings. My mom insists that that wasn't her intention, but from our perspective, asking someone not to take a shower after a night shift pretty clearly sends the message that your presence is disruptive. For context, I also pay rent in this house. My mom's friend has lived there for years and pays rent too. We all share the space. It's not like my girlfriend was being loud or unreasonable for taking just a 5 to 10 minute shower in the morning. It seems pretty standard. Now my mom's upset with me, but I feel like I handled it fairly. I passed the message along, my girlfriend made a calm and mature decision, and now somehow I'm caught in the middle. Am I the asshole for not pushing back harder on the complaint, or for letting my girlfriend decide to stop coming over in the mornings? The commenters on Reddit seem to think that everyone sucks in this post. There are some people even saying that the poster sucks because he should have defended his girlfriend more to his mom and not made his girlfriend feel bad. Which I guess I kinda get, but I think that the person that really sucks here is the basement dweller. Taking a shower at 8:30 in the morning is not an early shower. That's a very normal time to take a shower. And I think they should realize that they're living in the basement, that's just gonna happen at that time in the morning. People are gonna wake up and start to take showers. The girlfriend in this story just seems like an amazing person. Like, she clearly just doesn't want to ruffle anybody's feathers and just quietly adjusted her life and stopped taking showers when the complaint was brought up, which is really nice. I don't think she needs to stop. And yeah, I guess, like, thinking about it more, this guy maybe, like, should defend his girlfriend a little bit more and talk to his mom and just say, hey, that's kind of ridiculous. My girlfriend should be able to come over and shower at a normal hour. And I think this poster's mom is upset just because she knows that it's a bit of a ridiculous request to say that someone can't shower at 8:30 in the morning. So I think now that she feels bad about it, she's getting mad at the poster for telling his girlfriend about it. I don't know, let's all just agree that the basement dweller sucks and move on. Let's read another story here. Am I the asshole for taking the only 2-seat table in the restaurant all to myself? I'm realizing now that I've had a lot of food-related stories in this one. I think I'm just hungry, but I don't know. Anyway, let's just read this. This poster writes, I, 35 female, have given up on dating, but still enjoy date activities. So once a month I take myself out on a date. I go out to the movies, museums, even mini golf by myself. And I always treat myself to a nice lunch or dinner around 3 or 4 p.m. After the lunch rush, but before the dinner rush, so I have plenty of time to enjoy my food. For my self-dates, I always look to try a new restaurant. Saturday I found this great little Mediterranean place. It's a real gem, hidden away at the end of a strip mall, with murals on the walls, lovely guitar music, and only about 7 tables in total. When I got there, only one other table was occupied, and I sat down at the only other 2-seater table. The waiter got me my drink, and I had just put in my order when a couple walked in. They looked around the small restaurant, saw me at the only other 2-seater table, and approached the waiter. I was on my Kindle, not paying attention, until I heard the waiter say, there are plenty of other tables. They whisper-argued for another minute before I heard the man say, she won't take that long to eat. She's all alone. The woman huffed, and they sat at a 4-seat table right next to me. They ordered waters and loudly said that they were still deciding what they wanted, but were clearly stalling because she looked right at me when she said it. I chose to ignore it. When I treat myself to self-dates, I go all out and order an appetizer. Soup, salad, entree. My appetizer came out, and I clearly heard the man say, see, it's just a small meal. She'll be gone soon. I didn't say anything, and just enjoyed my food. When I finished, the woman grabbed her purse like she was going to dash for my table before someone else came in, only for the waiter to bring out my soup. I took my time eating the soup as the waiter again asked the couple if they're ready to order. The woman said they're still deciding and needed water refills. Then my entree came out. As soon as they saw it, the woman said, are you fucking kidding me? The food was amazing, and even though I knew they were waiting for my table, I took my time in appreciating my meal. Halfway through, the waiter again asked them if they were ready. The man said they were starving and ordered. The woman was clearly not happy, but also ordered. I was also tempted to order a dessert too, but I was stuffed. I paid my check, and I saw as I was leaving, the couple moving their plates over to my table, which hadn't been cleared off yet. At the time, I thought it was hilarious, but when I told my friends about it, they said I was being an asshole. They said restaurants like that were for couples on dates and not single people, and that it wouldn't have been a big deal for me to move or have gotten takeaway to eat at home. I said it was 4 p.m., not prime date time, and that there were 5 other tables to pick from. But they said I'd taken the most romantic table and ruined their date for my own enjoyment. Now I'm not sure, and I'm asking the internet for impartial judgment. I think I just really relate to this poster because I go to restaurants by myself all the time, and I hope I'm not being an asshole for for taking a 2-seater table. Like, what other table are you supposed to get? Am I just not supposed to go out to restaurants alone? Like, absolutely not. This is what restaurants are for. You go out to eat to them. It doesn't matter how many people you have. I do a lot of traveling solo for the job that I have had for the last couple years. And so I've just kind of gotten used to going out and eating alone. Let me just say, I really enjoy eating alone. I cannot recommend it enough. There's like a little bit of discomfort that you have to get over at first. But when you realize that nobody cares that you're there alone, you can just sit there and scroll on your phone, read, eat good food, and eavesdrop on other people's conversations, which is the best part. So no, I don't think this poster is the asshole. I think that she just had an encounter with some crazy people that frankly need to mind their own business. There are a bunch of comments talking about how people are so judgmental about women eating alone, which I completely get. That's just like a standard that I think people are more judgmental of women eating alone than men eating alone. But I like this comment. This comment reads, "It's none of their business how long you've been there or whether you're on a date. If the restaurant didn't want to serve you, they wouldn't have seated you. And the waiter should have seated the couple elsewhere or asked them to leave." I think that kind of sums it up. This poster is not the asshole. I hope she continues to go eat alone all the time. To answer the question before you ask it, I am absolutely looking up the coordinates of these end cities on like a seed finder online. Is that cheating? Probably. Do I care? Not really. Saves me time and rockets. All right, am I overreacting? My partner doesn't text me back in a timely manner. This poster writes, "Me and my partner have been together for a year and 3 months now, and I always get into arguments with them about not texting me in a timely manner, within like 3 hours. However, they don't seem to see it as a problem, because they think it's normal. But what I'm having trouble understanding and accepting is how they're so busy to where they can't text me within 3 hours. Or even just tell me they probably won't be able to text me back. I would be fine with them just telling me straight up. I have an anxious attachment style, and I always get angry when they keep doing it. They say it's a habit, and it's starting to make me more angry because why is that habit destroying our relationship? We're in a long-distance relationship, but we've met in person before. For example, they went to the gym recently, and they hired a personal trainer, which is new. Then they left me undelivered for 6 hours. I was angry because they could have at least told me that they got there or that they were done, but they just fell asleep after. I was worried, but I was just prosecuting them for leaving undelivered for 6 hours. It's getting so frustrating, and it's making me stressed when they say I'm a military partner for just asking for stable communication. I'm just so stuck on what to do. This is literally our only line of connection. The poster provides a picture of one of their text exchanges of them just reaching out to no response. I'll put that on the screen. They go on to say, "This picture shows two things, the timestamps and the desperation. We did a call around 1:10 p.m., and then they called me around 11 p.m., approximately their time. I'm just getting frustrated because is this normal? Their friends say I'm overreacting and that I'm the one that's in the wrong, but I just believe that what I'm asking for shouldn't be that much. I just need advice or insight from anyone. Please and thank you." I'm kind of curious what you guys have to say in the comments about this one, because I'm a little bit unsure on how I feel about it. I don't know, because in the past, or like, in the past and currently, I've been a person who takes time to respond. Like, I definitely don't respond immediately to texts. And I understand that I could do a better job of that. And in my relationship, I do try to respond as quickly as I possibly can. But it seems to me like this poster is being a little bit too anxious about wanting a response. I completely understand. They said that they're long distance, and texting and calling is their only form of communication. But looking at this again, they said that they had a call with their partner around 1:10 p.m., which in that text exchange is like right in the middle of that. So I don't know, if you called it like 1:10 p.m. and then you sent a text at 5:30 asking if they're all right, that just feels like a little bit overboard. I don't think you need to be so worried about communication like that. It gets to the point where if you're too over anxious about communicating with your partner, then it starts to degrade the relationship, and it just stresses everybody out unnecessarily. I do feel bad for them. They said that they have that anxious attachment style, which just does not pair well with someone who takes a long time to respond to texts. But I do think that this poster is overreacting a bit here. Like in this situation, I think both partners need to make some concessions. Like I think this poster needs to maybe take a bit of a chill pill and let their partner take a couple hours to respond to their texts, and maybe their partner needs to do a bit of a better job responding quicker. Like looking at that text exchange, it definitely looks really bad for the partner. Like it is easy to just respond to a text and say that everything's good and like, yeah, we should probably just chat later because I'm busy. But the poster definitely doesn't need to text every 3 hours asking if they're all right, especially if they just talked on the phone not that long ago. I don't know. Like I said, I might be completely wrong on this one. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. Okay, I had another story about jealousy, but I think this one's a little bit better. Explaining to my husband why his coworker has a crush on him. This poster writes, "My husband and I are both 35, and we've been together for 7 years, married for 5. My husband grew up as a nerd and overweight. He unfortunately was bullied a lot in adolescence, not just by boys, but by girls. The girls would call him a whale, or one awful story where a group of girls made one of their friends ask him to the dance because she lost a bet. When he got into his 20s, he gained some confidence and got healthy, but because of his story, he can never tell when women flirt with him. He never assumes someone is hitting on him because that never really happened in his life before. My husband works in tech, and within his team, there's one woman named Mary. My husband and I are both very well aware how tough the tech industry is for women. He told me that during one of his meetings with Mary, she expressed that she was bringing up issues and people were ignoring her. And then they would bring up the same issues she spoke about a month later like it was their idea. My husband was trying to figure out why Mary was being ignored. I said to him, "You know why?" To which he said, "Oh no, do you think it's because she's a woman?" To which I said to him, "It might not be the whole issue, but she very well may be being ignored because she's a woman." He asked if he should talk to her about it, and I encouraged him to. I explained that even if it isn't the case, acknowledging that you will support her is important. So he brought it up to Mary, asking if she felt like she was being ignored because people in her position get ignored, or does she in particular feel like she's getting ignored? He told me that they had a very thoughtful conversation, and she did get a little emotional at the end. Since that conversation, she's felt more comfortable opening up to my husband about her feelings regarding work, and they've talked about a lot of personal things as well. I could tell she was crushing on him a little bit, but nothing inappropriate. Last night while we were getting ready for bed, my husband looked at his phone. Mary had sent him a message on their work channel at the end of the workday asking about how his day was and saying, "Feels weird that I didn't get to talk to you today." My husband looks at his phone and said, "So I think Mary might have a little crush on me." To which I said, "Well, of course she does." He looks at me and says, "What do you mean?" I told him that I wouldn't be surprised if this was the first time in Mary's professional life where a man not only considered her feelings, but asked her about how she felt. He was treating her as an equal, and she's probably so grateful to have someone at work to confide in that she's a little sweet on him. My husband and I joke around a lot about how people tell him he's a good guy for doing basic human things. When I explained Mary had a crush on him, he sighed and said, "So once again, all I needed to do to get a girlfriend back in the day was not be a dick," to which I said, "Pretty much." I think both the poster and the husband in this situation are handling this situation incredibly. I really like this post for a couple reasons. First of all, there are a lot of guys out there that literally have no idea when they're being flirted with or if a female that they know has a crush on them because they've literally never been crushed on before. There are a lot of guys out there that go through that post-high school glow up where before a girl had literally never talked to them in their life, they're all of a sudden getting attention and they just don't know that it's even happening or how to handle it. It's surprisingly common. But I think this poster is doing a really great job of not being angry about it, not getting super jealous or anything, just simply explaining the situation to her husband, all while also being really mindful of his coworkers' feelings. You could see this being a very different Reddit story if the poster was jealous or if the husband was ignorant. So it's nice that both people in this story were were just good people. I don't know. Sometimes I think it's good to read these wholesome stories. We gotta have a little bit of drama in there, but it's good to bring it down with the wholesome stuff every once in a while. Those stories about the husband being bullied, though, at the beginning of this post were high-key very tragic and horrible. I'm really glad that the husband made it out of adolescence all right and is doing well now. All right, the next few stories that I'm going to read are subscriber submissions. If you want to send in a story that I'll potentially read in a video, you can send it to the email that I have down in the description. If you want to leave a comment about these stories, I just ask that you be respectful. These are real people. And also just remember that I'm a guy on the internet. I'm not always going to have the best opinions. I feel like I should just say that every day. Am I the asshole for telling my friend she needs to break up with her boyfriend? I'm a 16-year-old female. Along with plenty of other high school students my age, we went on a school trip a couple weeks ago. One of my best friends, also 16 and female, was there as well. However, her ex-boyfriend was also there. For context, this ex treated my friend like complete trash. He never bought her flowers, never complimented her, got mad when she bought a certain homecoming dress, talked to other girls, etc. Recently, she just got a new boyfriend who treats her amazing and doesn't question her worth. I've always been supportive of her and was beyond happy to see her in a relationship that she was happy in. However, during the trip, she realized that she was still in love with her ex-boyfriend and decided to talk to him. They got on good terms again and began socializing as friends. I thought that this was okay as long as she told her current boyfriend. However, as the trip progressed, they started getting really close. They would go off alone together, have long talks, and Snapchat a bunch, etc. One night in our hotel room, she and her ex locked themselves in our hotel room so they could talk about things. When she came back, I asked how she felt about her ex. She said she missed him and didn't know if she liked her ex or her current boyfriend more. At that point, I was kind of fed up, and I told her that she was being selfish for staying with her boyfriend because she's only going to hurt him. And I said she should be single so she could figure out who she is without a boyfriend. I told her she can't control her feelings, but she can control what she does with them. I also explained that her ex treated her awfully, and her new boyfriend actually treats her like she's worth something. So I didn't understand why she was still so in love with him. When we got home from the trip, she only told her boyfriend she had her ex on Snapchat, that they had talked once, and that she had forgotten the rest. I can't be the only one that thinks this is messed up. Am I the asshole? I would agree with you that is messed up, but I think you gave great advice. I think you gave very level-headed advice to your friend. It's always really hard to watch your friend go through something like this, and the answer just seems so obvious to you. You're just like watching them, like wishing that you could make the decision for them, but you can't do that. As long as you give your opinion in a respectful way, like that's what friends are for. You're there to support her. But I mean, now that you've said your piece, you've given your opinion, it's her job to make her own decisions now. And you just have to continue to be supportive of her in the future. But yeah, I agree with you. I think if things continue on their current trajectory, I think her boyfriend is probably going to get hurt. It seems like if he finds out about how much time they're spending together, he's not going to be happy. But yeah, it's crazy. Sometimes you just have these friends that insist on getting into toxic relationships over and over and over again. And then when they finally get into a good relationship, you're like, yes, you did it. You found a good one. Then they just go back to a toxic ex. It drives me insane. But thank you for writing in. I hope your friend does what's best for her. Let's read another story here. Okay, this next subscriber writes, I downloaded Tinder and got catfished, and now I feel disgusted. So this happened a while ago, but I felt like sharing the story. A few months ago, I downloaded Tinder after I was a bit heartbroken, and it was sort of a way to cope. I was open about not looking for anything serious, since I didn't feel ready for it at the time. I matched with a guy and we immediately started talking. I thought he was pretty, and I liked the attention he gave me. He asked me about my body count and stuff, which made me uncomfortable, but I kept talking to him anyway. We started talking on Discord for like 3 days, I think. And it didn't take long before he started saying sexual things to me, despite me telling him that I wasn't really comfortable with it. But it entertained me, so I kept talking to him. He didn't ask for nudes or anything. I'm pretty sure he had some sort of porn addiction since he found a way to make everything sexual. It's easy to think that I should have just stopped talking to him since he was being so sexual towards me, but I was naive and a bit desperate for some sort of connection. The day I actually blocked him was when I asked him if he could send me a Snapchat of his face. He was really hesitant about it, but I kept asking him, so eventually he snapped me. It was completely different from what he had on his profile. I confronted him about how he had searched for pictures on Pinterest that he then used on his profile. He defended himself by saying he downloaded Tinder as a joke and that he didn't want to match with people he knew. I found it disgusting, how I allowed myself to be sexualized by a man that I thought was something else. I know it sounds wrong, and I didn't feel comfortable even when I thought he looked like someone else, but I felt even more betrayed. I immediately blocked him, and now I'm incredibly scared to download a dating app again. I'm so sorry that happened to you. That really sucks. And it's not like an uncommon experience, and it happens to both guys and girls. I know somebody who got catfished and they tried to get money out of them. It's just scary stuff. You can't be too careful on these dating apps. I met my girlfriend on Hinge. So, I mean, the experience worked out for me, but I totally understand if you don't want to go back to them and are soured on dating apps from here on out. That's totally understandable. I will say, if you're thinking about going back to them, the safe way to go about it, a lot of these apps have like a verification process. Like next to people's profiles, they might have a verified check mark. Just moving forward, maybe only talk to people with that verification. Maybe that's a safer way of going about it. I guess you never really know because you're meeting someone online, but there are at least safer ways to go about doing it. Also making sure that when you meet for the first time, it's in a very public place. All the classics. I'm no expert though. Maybe go read some comments. Hopefully some folks down there have some good tips to share on how to online date safely. But I'm really glad you got out of that situation. Hopefully things are on the up and up. If some guy is taking the conversation in those directions really quickly, it's best to just avoid talking to them entirely. Just don't talk to those creepy dudes. All right, here's the final haul. Got some pretty good stuff here. Definitely needed some more Elytra now that we are rocket ready. And here's one of many hauls from the smelter we built. Definitely feels good to have this done. I also really like the look of the lights on top. Feels kind of like a loading bar. Whenever I'm smelting something, I'll be able to see from anywhere in the cave that I've got something cooking in the smelter, which is just like a necessity since I notoriously leave every machine that I have running. But that's all the Minecraft and Reddit stories I've got for you today. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I'll wait. It's fine. After I upload this video, I don't really have anything going on today, so it's cool. I'll wait. You can subscribe whenever you like right now. No worries. I mean, viewer retention is dropping as we speak. People are leaving the video. I'll just fly around my cave. The numbers are getting worse. I can wait you out. No problem. Okay, fine. I actually am worried about the retention. Subscribe. Bye.